All right. So yeah, once again, thank you very much, everybody, for joining this lesson. I don't take your time for granted. You are welcome to our coding lesson today. My name is Mr. Afiki Lesikwebu. I'm a teacher at Linkside High School. That is a school in Port Elizabeth, in the Eastern Cape. I teach computer applications technology, or CAT in short, and I also teach technology or digital technologies to grade 8 and grade 9s. I hope for all the new people, if there are any new people, I hope that you are going to enjoy your time with us. And we will have some time at the end to ask your questions. I'm sorry about that. If you have any questions outside of our lesson, you can email me or on afikile at africateengeeks.co.za. So we will take questions at the end of the lesson. And Karabo, I saw your hand, but we'll only take questions at the end of the lesson. If there is something that is not going on very well on your side, please just leave it in the chat section. We will attend to it there. So yeah, and what we are going to do today is to look at a recap. We will look at what we did last week. We will just talk about it shortly. We will look at today's outcomes or what we are going to do. I'll take questions at the end. And just to remind you, you can email me your ideas. I'm actually looking forward to your guys' ideas. I'm looking forward to hearing what you would like us to do in this class. So please don't be shy. You have my email address. You are more than welcome to send your suggestions, to email me some suggestions also about games or about activities that we can do in our sessions. So please do that if you have the time or if there's anything that you need clarity on. And then we shall look at what we are going to do today. In fact, as we recap, last week on Friday, we had a look at all the activities that we did last week. And we basically then also used Misora to make our own game. We had a game of, what was the game? Yeah, I'll catch the apples. And I told you guys that you could go on and add on to your game. And if you have any queries about what to do, you could then email me. So we used Misora to make our own game, and we did that. And secondly, oh, that's what we did last week. Sorry. So today, what we are going to do is to look at how we can draw on Misora. We are going to have some drawing. We'll look at how we can use Misora to draw. And it's not hand drawings. We are going to use code to have some drawings. And what I would like us to do today is that I would love it to be an interactive session. So I will ask our host that I may ask some questions from my side. And if you have an answer that you want to give, you can raise your hand. So please make sure that you only raise your hand if you have an answer that you want to give. So we are going to look at how to draw in Misora. And then also we will look at creating new blocks in Misora. So those are the two things that we want to achieve today. We will look at how to draw, and we will also check or look at how to create new blocks in Misora. And then, of course, let us log in first before we do anything. I'm going to share my other screen. I'm sorry, I closed it without alerting you guys. So I have opened my browser. You may have a different browser. If you have a different browser, you can have Chrome, you can have Internet Explorer, Edge, Firefox, whatever internet browser you use at home, please use that. Okay, now there's a question that says, what is Misora? I am new here. So I'm just going to quickly answer that. So Misora is a digital platform that we use to code. It is the platform that we are going to use to learn how to code. That is Misora. And I want you to, if you have not registered, if you have not yet registered, I'm going to leave the address for you to go and register on Africa Teen Geeks, and then also how to create an account. There is a video on that, on how to create an account for Misora. So here's the address. I'm going to leave it in the chat section to register. But now we are going to log into Misora so that we can start coding. So we are going to say mszora.co.za. I will also put this in the chat section. So mszora.co.za, and we log in. So now you have log in or sign up. So for the new people, you will have to then click on sign up. You're going to have to fill in this form. Make sure that you supply or you give us an email address that works, so that you can get a PIN to confirm whether it is you that has logged in. So because I have an account already, I am just going to log in. When I click on log in, it's going to say sign in, and I've logged in before and I've asked my laptop to remember my details. And so all I have to do is to say log in. Then brings me to my dashboard. So your dashboard is where everything happens. It is where we are going to start. We are going to open Misora. So I now click on blocks. If I click on blocks, it will then open Misora. All right. So just for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time, there are videos for all the lessons that we did last week. You can find the videos on YouTube. If you come to YouTube, you go to Africa Teen Geeks. If you find Africa Teen Geeks, you will then be brought here. So if you come to Africa Teen Geeks, let's go here. There's all the videos that we have. These are the videos from the coding sessions. So you are going to look for grade 6. So you have grade 7, grade 9, grade 8. We are looking for grade 6. So here's one. And basically you are going to look for our videos there, and you can start following us from there. All right. So that is how you will find the videos. So now we are in Misora. We are back in Misora, and we said that we have this play area here, which our code, which is going, all our sprites that we have selected, all the action is going to happen here, and we can maximize it to make it bigger, and we can restore it to its original size. And we have sprites here. We choose sprites, and we said that sprites are all the characters that we use for our code. So when you click sprites, it will bring you here, and they are all listed by category. All right. Then we have backgrounds or backdrops on this icon. I'm just trying to give an overall view of Misora for all the people that are joining us for the first time. And we have our code blocks here. We have our costumes. So we said that each sprite has one or many costumes. So this one, for instance, it has 2 costumes. And then finally, we also have sounds. And we can also then save our project. We will save it as drawing. When you've saved it, you can click and say save to your computer. So that is what the interface looks like at this that's how it looks like for us. All right, so we are not going to use this sprite, so I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to select a new sprite. Now that we've selected a new, well, I haven't selected a new sprite, let's see what sprite can we select. I'm going to select animals, and I am going to take, no, let me see. I want something that only has one sprite. Okay, so it has one sprite, and we can resize him and make him smaller. We can also change his name, but I like his name big. Let's call him Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck. So you can rename him. So now he's no more Duck. He's Darkwing Duck. You will see that his name will change. And so we have our sprite. Last week, we also saw that we could come to the extension icon. There's an icon on the bottom left of your screen where you can click and find different extensions that will be added to Mesora. Now, an extension is, it gives you more power to do different things. So like for instance, last week we looked at video sensing, and that allowed us to be able to play with our webcam. And we played a game where, in fact, we didn't play a game. We basically had an apple, and we were hitting this apple with our hands. And I used a paper, in fact, on that exercise. And so we used the webcam that is connected to our laptop. We used that to interact with our code. We also used text to speech, where we wrote some words and the computer read that for us. That will be helpful when you want to use voiceovers, or when you want natural voices to be used for your projects. So we have another one that we are going to use today, which is the pen tool. So we are going to use the pen tool. All right. So the pen tool will also, as in the same way that when we clicked for video sensing and text to speech, we now have this block called pen. All right, so we have this new block called pen, and we are going to look at, we'll try and look at each of them as before we take a project. So we have, first of all, erase all, which I'm not going to use now, because you need to see what we are going to erase before I can use it. So we'll come back after we've used pen down. So we have erase all, we have stamp. Now, all that stamp does is that it creates a clone of your sprite. So it clones your sprite. If, for instance, I click stamp, now you see I have one sprite. I still have one sprite, but now if I move the sprite and put it at a different place, there remains a stamped copy of this sprite. If I move it again, nothing. But if I say stamp, it puts it leaves a stamped copy of my sprite. If I then come and say erase all, it will then erase only the copies of my sprite. And so I hope you are following. And if you wanted to, please just click on stamp so that you can leave a stamp of your sprite, and you can have as many stamps as you want. You can have as many stamps as you want, but it will only create a stamp of, it will only create a stamp, and you will not be able to move or code these stamps. All right. So then we can erase all. Then we have pen down. When we have pen down, what happens is that you can use pen, well, you can't really use pen down by itself, because look, if you press pen down, all it does is that it leaves a very, very tiny dot. That's it. If you look at this dot, wherever it is, wherever it sees pen down, it starts writing a line. So if, for instance, I had pen down and I had move 10 steps, let's make it 100. If I said move 100 steps, if I click now, you will see wherever, when it moves, there is a line that trails behind it. So whenever the duck moves, it leaves a line. It leaves a chain of where it has been. So that is what pen down does. So, and then we, if any time it moves, if we said move 100 steps, pen down, move, so let's say this way, move 100 steps, turn 15 degrees, and then pen down. Let's erase everything that is here so we can see. So what happens first? What happens is that it moves 100 steps, it turns 15 degrees. Can you see? If I keep clicking, you will see that it will move 100 steps first, and then it will face the 15 degrees. So it will face the 15-degree angle. All right. So it will do that for us. So if I can do this and make it straight again, sorry. Okay. So that is what pen down does. It draws a line wherever our sprite has moved. We have also pen up. So what we can do with pen up, let's say you have moved 100 steps, pen down, and let's say, so let's put a timer so that you can see it happening. And let's see what pen up does. And then pen up. So now what's supposed to happen is that it's going to move 100 steps forward. It's going to, while it's moving, it's going to be writing. And then it's going to wait. When it gets to its point, it's going to wait for 1 second. Let's make it quicker. It's going to wait for half a second. And then it's going to move again. But let's see when it does the second movement, what happens. So then it moves again, and then it will wait half a second, and then it will move 10 steps again. So let's see. Okay, let's do this. Let's make it 3 seconds so we can see. And let's make this also 100. Sorry. Yeah, let's make it 100. And let's make this 100 also. Okay, now you see what happens is this. I made a mistake. I continued to press. So I'll press the first time. So it moves, and then it draws, and then it moves again. So you will see that the first thing it does, it moves 100 steps from where it was to here. Then it puts down the pen when it gets here. Then it moves another 100 steps from here to here. And then it lifts the pen. Then it moves another 100 steps from here to here with the pen lifted. So when you use pen down, it's for you to start writing. When you use pen up, it's basically to say, lift up the pen now and stop writing. So that is pen down and pen up. Then you can also change the pencil color. You can change the brightness. You can change the color itself as you go along. You will see it will change the color. You see, so you can change the color. And here you can on this one, change pen color by 10. You will see that your color has, I mean, we've got 0 here, and we have different numbers. So it will change the color by the number that you have set. Then you can also say set pen color. Now, instead of changing the pen color, you can set it that when it starts, it must start at a particular color. So let's say, for instance, set it to 29. If I say set pen color to 29, you will see 29 is green, and it will then start the thing as green. All right. So then you can change also the pen size. Let's say, let's make it 40. Now the pen size, let's make the pen size, change pen size by, sorry, I didn't put it in. Let me remove all of this. Put this here, put this here, and let's start it. So now you see your pen size becomes thicker. You see, so your pen size becomes thicker. Of course, we wouldn't want that for now. Let's leave it at 25, sorry, 25. Change pen size by 25. Okay, it's even worse. So now it changes it by 25 from the previous size that you had selected, and then set pen size to 1. So if I had said it must change it by 25. Now, if I say it must set it to 1, it will start back at 1. Okay, so that is all that we have on pen. So we are going to do a few shapes now on how to use the pen. And for the people who are joining us for the first time, we are going to do, for instance, we're going to make an algorithm, or we're going to make a code that is going to draw a square. So we are going to do it, first of all, 2 ways. And then I'm going to allow you guys to tell me how we can do it quicker, all right? And how we can make our code a bit efficient. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you are going to have to answer me. All right, so what we are going to do is that we want to draw a square. So let's make the square a bit bigger. So we are going to say move 100 steps. It's going to move this way. And we are going to say, if I remember very well in my schooling, I was told that a square is 90 degrees. So we are going to then move and turn 90 degrees. And I'm going to put the pen down. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it does work. So I'm going to put the pen down first. Then I'm going to say move 100 steps, turn 90 degrees. And then secondly, for the second side, move 100 steps again. Then turn 90 degrees. Another move 100 steps. Now, what I want you guys to be aware of, I'm going to make a, okay, let me not tell you. You must just tell me what I did wrong. So move another 100 steps and turn 90 degrees. And then finally, remember we are drawing a square, 100 steps, and then turn 90 degrees. Okay, sorry. Turn 90 degrees. Now, let me draw my square. Okay, let him, must be standing properly. Okay, now, why is it not drawing a square? So I want someone who says, I want to give it a try. Who would like to answer why and tell me why is not drawing a square? Now, Caleb, I'm going to unmute you to perhaps try and tell us why is it not drawing a square? I've asked you to unmute yourself, Caleb.
So it's not making a square because it's supposed to be minus 90.
Okay, sorry. Okay, here, right? Okay, so sorry, I said 100 there. So let's start again. So Caleb says it's not making 90 because it's not making a square because it was supposed to be minus 90. Let me see. Okay, let's try again. There, it still does something similar. Someone else who wants to give it, thank you, Caleb. Who else wants to try? Let's take Hadia. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Hadia, you can unmute yourself.
It's because the sixth block is turning left, but it's not turning right.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Hadia. So she says because this sixth block is turning left and it's not turning right. That is the correct answer. So let's make it turn right and let's see what it does. Now it makes a square. Thank you very much for that, Hadia. Now, the second question is this. If I wanted to make my code, number one, shorter, how would I do that? I wanted to make my code shorter. It's quite long the way it is, and I wanted to make it shorter. Adam. Yes, Adam.
You can say repeat.
Yeah.
Repeat 4 times.
Where do we find
4.
repeat?
In control.
Control, yes.
Repeat.
Yes.
And then you change repeat to 4.
4, all right. What do I put inside repeat?
Move 100 steps.
Yeah.
Turn 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And you put the
only
pin
that.
down. Yes, only that.
Okay.
Inside.
So
and then you put the pin down and the green flag clicked on the top of it.
Okay, let's see. Let's give it a try. Thank you very much. Okay, so it repeats that 4 times. Thank you, Adam. Now, the third question, if I wanted the duckwing duck, to move a bit slower and draw my square a bit slower, how would I go about doing that? Okay, Caleb, I'm going to start with you.
So you can put a weight block.
So I can put a weight block. Okay, so Caleb says I can put a weight block. Okay, that's cool. Okay, you guys have all been really paying attention. I'm very proud of you guys. So that is now how we can draw a square. So we can do other things. Let's try and draw a triangle, for instance. Let me see if I know my drawings. So for the triangle, let's say when flag is clicked, let's see if I know I hope I don't embarrass myself. Okay, let's see if I can do the right thing. Sorry. And then put this, and let's see if this is going to work. I'm crossing my fingers. Okay, so we got a triangle. So it goes, it's supposed to be 3 times. Okay, so it's supposed to go 3 times. Then that's my triangle. We can draw other shapes as well. And what we can also do, let's say we wanted to see it happening. So we have a triangle, and I'm really literally going to draw random shapes now. And let's say we said, so repeat this triangle 3 times, but you, after every repeat, you must move 10 steps. Let's see how that happens. All right, so let's say we then also said, when you do this, go like this way. So can you see the patterns? Let's say, let's make it move more times, and let's make it move 100 times also there. Okay, moving like a, okay, let's make it 10 times. So you can see how you can draw certain patterns. Let's say what we can also do with this is, let's have our code here for our triangle. Let's leave it here and say repeat 3 times. Repeat 3 times. Then what we can do is to say, let's say wait, and then we can say erase all. Let's see. Now it erases everything, right? So we can do things like that. We have our code. We say, okay, when you're done writing when you're done drawing the shape, sorry about that, you must then erase all. So I want someone who is going to tell me, how then would I draw a rectangle? How would I draw a rectangle? Hadia?
So first you go to motion.
Yes.
You move 100 steps.
Yeah.
And then turn 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Then move 50 steps.
Okay.
Then you put it in, you go to control.
Yeah.
And you put it, you use a repeat block.
Yes.
And repeat it for, put it, repeat 2 times. And then you go to events and kick when kick.
He will give you the money now.
Okay. So I suppose we put this here. Thank you, Hadia. Is there someone who says there is one tiny thing that Hadia forgot to mention? Thank you, Hadia. Adam.
You could, after move 50 steps, you have to turn 90 degrees again.
So you say turn 90 degrees again. Okay. Now let's first use, okay, let's do it. And then we of course want it to draw, pen down. Okay, thank you very much. There's our it's drawn our rectangle. So you can play around at home and do different shapes. And as you do different shapes, you will see how it works out. So what I'm going to do is to look at, thirdly, how to create our own blocks, or secondly, how to create our own blocks. Now, let's say we wanted to have a block. We have a square here. So here is a square. We have a square here. And our square is repeat 4 times. And we have pen down. So we have a square. So we then want to have a block that every time when we press it, when we press that block, it's just going to draw a square for us without us having to repeat this code. So what we can then do is, you will see just above my pen, there is what we call my blocks. And under my blocks, there is my blocks. It says make a block. So we're going to click on make a block. And it's going to ask us what we want the block name to be. So we are going to call it square. And we click on, we're not going to mind these options for now. And we are going to say, oh, okay. So now we have a block that says define square. All right. Now, if I click on it, nothing happens because there is not any code that is connected to it. Now, if I add this code to define square, you will see it still draws a square. All right. But now you will see there's also an addition of a code called square here. There's a new block called square. And if I take this block and I place it here, and I have, when I click the flag, it must draw the square. And anytime I want to change, if I want to change anything on the square or any of the properties of this shape, I don't have to come here. I can just change it right on this other side. So if I now click the flag, it will make it bigger. All right. If I click that, okay, do this 6 times, it will make it 6. It will do that 6 times. So I only have to keep changing things here. So let's say I then said, let's make another block called rectangle. Let's have a block called rectangle. We have a rectangle. Now I'm just going to duplicate this because I can. So now we have another one called a rectangle. So we can go to control and say, when I click the flag, draw a square. When you've drawn the square, wait for 1 second. Let's say turn 90 degrees, then draw a rectangle. Okay, so let's clear this. There's something wrong once again with my code. It's supposed to be 4 and it's supposed to be, no, I want to duplicate you, and it's supposed to be, okay. Now let's click the flag. Okay, so you see now we have a shape, a different kind of shape. So let's say for the last shape that we are going to do, we have another block. Let's call this a circle. It might take a long time to finish. So let's call a circle. Okay, now for circle, you say, let's repeat. We're going to repeat this circle. Let's make it repeated 36 times. Okay, and let's make the circle, let's make him move 10 steps, and let's make him move, let's make him turn by 10 degrees. I hope it doesn't embarrass my maths. Okay, so now we have a circle. So we then add it to our on our blocks that we have created. And when we come to my blocks, we now have a third block called circle, which we can add to our algorithm and say, wait 1 second, and you will draw this circle. So if we have now a combination, or we have joined our blocks, okay, so that is what we can do. We can move another 10 steps. We can draw another circle. And to make things interesting, we can just say, okay, just keep doing this. Let's see how much it will do it. How many times, well, not how many times, what shape will result out of all of this. And let's make it quicker. And what we can do, we can change the pen size by 10 when it's done, by 25. We can change it by 1. So there's quite a few things, a few patterns that you can draw if ever you wanted to. So I'm going to encourage you once again to play around with Mesora, to play around with the pen tool, to play around with also the My Blocks tool, and to see what you can do or how you can use it to in your project. So for instance, when we had projects last week, how is it that you can create a block that doesn't exist in Scratch to you, sorry, in Mesora, to use it for your project? So that is what you can do for today up until tomorrow. And also, you can also use this pen tool to play around and make your own patterns, make your own drawings, make anything that your mind really wants to do. It's quite interesting when you start playing around with it. The results are quite interesting. And for the people that are joining us for the first time, please remember, there is actually nothing wrong on in our learning. If you have been here, I think I even said before that if you want, let's say you have a car, you choose a new sprite and you have a food truck. And let me just hide this one. And you have a food truck. Okay, let me make it smaller. 30. No. Sorry, making the wrong thing now. Okay, you make this smaller and you want your food truck to drive around the screen. Let's say it is driving around the screen and you really just, where's the loops now? Okay, yeah. You want your food truck to drive around the screen and when it drives, it goes upside down. It's your project, you know. I'm not going to judge you. It's what you want to do with it. So when you do something and it does something else, don't be shy. You can just undo it and see how to fix it. If you want your car to go upside down, it's fine. In your world, make it your world. Make it what you want it to do. So never think that, oh, I've done a wrong thing. If you do think that you have done it wrongly and you want to ask for help, you can then ask for help. But I will never judge you and say, why is your car driving upside down? It's because you wanted it to drive upside down. So yeah, we are going to take some questions now. If there's anyone who has any question, you are more than welcome to ask it now. Otherwise, I think I'm going to start concluding today's lesson. If there's anyone who has a question. Okay, nobody with a question? All right, I hope that means that everybody understood, and I'm happy that then everybody has understood our session, and I'm glad that I hope that means that I did a good job at explaining it. So in conclusion then for today, we looked at the pen tool, how you can use the pen tool in Misora to draw certain shapes, how you can create a stamp of your project. We said that when you use the stamp tool or the stamp code, it leaves a trace of the past position as you play around. And we also looked at how you can put the pen to draw with. We showed each other how to use the pen up tool to remove the pen or to stop your sprite from writing. We changed the color of the pen using the set pen color. And we also changed the size of our pen to make it thicker. We then also created our own blocks, and we saw our own blocks. So let me just erase everything. And let me bring my duck back. And let me make him normal size. So we also saw how to create our own blocks. For instance, we have a block called circle, and when we click on, when we want to draw a circle, we don't have to now keep doing this code. We can just have circle and it will draw a circle for us. When we want to draw a rectangle, we will just click on rectangle and the code will go to the new block that we've created. It will run all of this code and then it will stop. And so that is how we can create a new block. And I said that you can go on and create your new blocks according to how you want to do your projects. So we have come to the end of the lesson. Oh, and before that, I said that at the beginning, I said you must register. For the people that are joining us, I hope you are able to register. And I just want to say, please, when you register, ask your parent if they have an email address. I'm sure they do. So if you go to registrations, please ask your parents to help you. If it's your parents, they can register for you here. If you have an email address, if you have your personal email address, you can register with your email address here. Okay, so please do that. And before we log in tomorrow, I want to encourage you that you will have registered on registrations.africa-teen-geeks, and you will also have access to misora.co.za, so that you will be able to use this platform and be able to follow us on our lessons for today. So unless there's another question, I would love to bring our session today to a close, and I will see you guys, or I will hear from you guys once again, same time, same place tomorrow. No more questions? Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate Nuria, I appreciate your feedback, Nuria. I hope that you will join us again next time. I see you like unicorns. I also like unicorns. I have my daughter loves unicorns. So have a lovely day further. And yes, please keep playing around with Misora. You will be surprised at what you can do. So what we are going to do tomorrow, when we begin our session, I want you to show us some of the projects that you will have, or you have done last week, or you will have done from now till tomorrow. So I'm going to ask some of you to share your screens of your projects. I'll ask 1 or 2 people just to share your screen and show us what your project does, so that we can see what you've been up to. Yes, so yes, the session has now officially come to an end. Till tomorrow, thank you very much. Goodbye.